Welcome, everybody, to the 49ers playoff push / regular season review. In this video, we are going to be recapping the whole entire 49ers season, giving my opinion on how the team's been playing and my opinion on the trends of the way we've been playing. And then I'm going to be previewing the game, Week 17, Sunday Night Football at 5:15 Pacific in Seattle, CenturyLink Field. The winner wins the NFC West. And if we win, we can get the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. So let's get right into this. First of all is our defense and our defensive line. Basically our whole defense, though. It is not as dominant as it was in the beginning of the season. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, we were getting way more turnovers. We were sacking literally. We got 9 sacks in multiple games and stuff like that. And in recent games, we've been getting 1 or less sacks, and that is very worrying to me. And I understand that it's because of injuries, but we can't blame injuries if we lose in the playoffs, right? That just can't happen. We got to do something about it. I'm hoping Saleh finds a way to make our defensive scheme less aggressive, because I feel like they've figured that out, that our defensive line is just pinning their ears back and is running straight to the passer. And what we need to do is be able to lay off in coverage a little more, maybe not send every guy there straight to rush. Maybe some guy to, I don't know. I'm not a defensive genius. But Saleh's got to figure something out here, because the way our defense has been playing right now, the whole thing is predicated on our defensive line getting pressure. When our defensive line gets pressure, our secondary looks great. And I still think our secondary is pretty good, but when we get pressure, our secondary looks insanely good. So, maybe D Ford coming back will help it, but I really don't think just him coming back is going to make that much of a difference. We need to come up with some schemes to fix this. Now let's talk about the man in charge of the guys who are out there on the field. It is Kyle Shanahan. And look, I'm a guy who always defends Kyle Shanahan. I think he's the best play caller, the best offensive coordinator in the league. That is my opinion. But look, there are some times where he does go away from the run a little too early. Beginning of the season, the run was working, so he was fine with continuing to do run plays and all that. Since then, he's been a little reluctant to do as many run plays. Before, we would have 55% of our plays were run, but now it's down to 45%, and we're mostly a passing team. And, it's not that I don't trust Jimmy, because I do. I do trust Jimmy, which is going to lead me into Jimmy Garoppolo right here. Jimmy has been good. He's been very good, in my opinion. The interceptions really do not do him justice. He is super clutch on third down, and he's super clutch at the end of the game. If it's the end of the game, I trust him. I know he can make the right play. But the thing is that he does give up an interception or two, and he's almost good for that every game at this point, because either it gets tipped up by one of our receivers, or he just throws a bad pass, and it happens, and he's gonna get better. Next year he'll hopefully cut down the interceptions, but this is him for right now, so we gotta make sure to limit Jimmy's mistakes, and I think setting up the run can help open up the offense and make it easier for Jimmy to make the right read. Now, the offensive line didn't look amazing against the Rams here, but it's really nothing to worry about in my opinion. It's just that Mike Person was injured that game, and he is the starting right guard, so I believe it was I think it was Daniel Brunskill who was starting at right guard, even though he's a right tackle. So, that doesn't really work out. He was playing out of position. It made it tough, especially when you're playing against Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald had 2 sacks. So, it is what it is. It was against Aaron Donald. I'm not going to get too panicked over it, because I think our offensive line is really good run blocking. The pass blocking, they could get better. They could be better, but hey, I'd be happy. I think any team would be happy to have the run blocking that we do have, which is going to lead me to Raheem Mostert. So now we're going to talk about some positives. Let's talk about the offense here. I think our offense has been really, really great this season. Kyle Shanahan has been making some less imaginative play calls since the Saints game, but I do think that's somewhat his plan. He doesn't want to reveal his whole playbook before the playoffs or anything like that. George Kittle obviously been insane. Emmanuel Sanders has been a great number one receiver. Deebo Samuel has emerged as the guy next to him. Kendrick Bourne has become a red zone threat that Jimmy can rely on. Obviously, Kyle Juszczyk is doing his thing. I have no problems with Kyle Juszczyk. And as far as the running backs go, the running back by committee has become mostly Raheem Mostert, which is not something I was expecting. Because the thing with Raheem Mostert is I always thought he's a guy you can put him in to sprint and get a big gain, but he's not going to be that guy that you can give consistent carries. And look, he has proved me wrong a little bit in the last few games. He was amazing in Baltimore. He played great against the Saints. Then he played pretty well against the Falcons, and then he played pretty great again against the Rams. So, Raheem Mostert, I don't know if he's going to be our number one guy next season. I'm still a big believer in Matt Breida, but I mean, it's not my call, right? It's Kyle Shanahan's call, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with the running backs. So let's preview this. We're going to start off with, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the Seahawks have re-signed Marshawn Lynch because all three of their running backs, C.J. Prosise, Chris Carson, and Rashad Penny, they all got injured, and they are all basically out for the season. So they signed Marshawn Lynch, and I think they signed Robert Turbin, and I believe Turbin is also a former Seahawk. But yeah, they re-signed Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. And, it makes me a little worried just for adrenaline, just that fact. Yes, he is a guy coming off the street. They're basically just going to sign him. And, who knows how much hard work he's actually been putting in. Pete Carroll says he's been doing a lot of it. But hey, that's what they always say. Hopefully, he's not beast mode. I mean, the last 2 years with the Raiders, he was all right. He was not beast mode though. So if they're gonna get Raiders Marshawn, I'm fine with that. If it's that Marshawn, I think we'll be able to handle it. But it is just a little bit worrying, just for the fact that he's returning and he's gonna be really energetic and he's gonna be really, really frisky and be wanting to carry the ball a lot and break off some big plays, I guess. And yes, also the Seahawks is, I believe it's their right tackle, Dwayne Brown. He's injured. And look, what I want to urge the Niners is that not to be overconfident. Because look, on the other side, there's Russell Wilson. On the other side, Jadeveon Clowney is coming back from his injury, and so is some of their secondary. So you know what? That's a little worrying because Jadeveon Clowney did cook up Joe Staley last time. Yes, Joe Staley did have a broken finger though. But we cannot just let up. We need to make sure we can pound it on them. We need to make sure that we don't let them have a shot because right now they are gasping for life here because they are just so injured. We were this injured just a few weeks ago, and we know what it's like. We need to make them gasp for air, and we need to make sure that we can beat them at their house. But it's not going to be easy because the Seahawks have Russell Wilson, and that is basically all you need in order to win a game. Russell Wilson is literally the reason why the Seahawks are a playoff team. Let's be honest here. Without Russell Wilson, they would not be this good. We need to watch out because Russell Wilson is a bad man. All in all, I think we got a good shot at winning this game, and I'm hoping we do. See you guys after Sunday.